With Security Breach having come and gone, there are quite a few directions that the series can go in next, but there are some things we know for certain about the various characters we see in the pizzaplex, and some of the horrible things that they've done, even if they did so, well, full-on dummy thick. So the things we know that Mami Chica did are what we're exploring today. Yeah, that's right, I made it work, let's do it. In a 10, stored Susie. While yes, storing the body of a child isn't really Chica's fault, it's still something that she did. And this list is about the scary things Chica has done, not necessarily the things that she chose to do. And I think storing the corpse of the first missing child is definitely scary, and if not for the actual act of doing it, then for all of the confusing lore that came afterwards. No matter, the fact that an animatronic is storing a dead body is certainly a scary thing. I mean, if you want to look at me and then say that you would be fine if your child was being entertained by a robot filled with a human corpse, that's certainly your own prerogative. I mean, it would scar the kid for life, but that's fine, I guess. Whatever. I wouldn't be happy if my kid was playing with a corpse, that's for damn sure, but not only that example, let's say you went swimming in a pool and then someone drops a body in at the other end, okay? Whether you be in the shallow end or they're in the shallow end, it doesn't matter, okay? Would you stay in the pool despite it being on the other side of the pool? No, you would get out, okay? It's the same concept here. It's a mystery how the smell of these bodies didn't ruin the atmosphere in the pizza joint, okay? And we all have like a corpse to water ratio that we're fine with, but my animatronic to corpse ratio is 1 to 0. That means one animatronic with no corpses. In at 9, the first. Okay, now while being the vessel that stored Susie may not have been her fault, this one definitely is. In Ultimate Custom Night, every time you die you get a voice line from the character that killed you. And thanks to Chica, or I guess specifically the withered Chica version, we get the line, quote, "I was the first, I have seen everything." Which while now does seem to indicate that she was the first of the missing children, originally we thought that this meant that she was the first victim ever. Which, while not being scary for the average player or for someone who doesn't care, to me and anyone who thinks about the lore on a more than normal basis, and at that point was making a living from it, that was absolutely terrifying for me, okay? I mean, like, it didn't really make sense for it to work that way, since Charlie, according to the books, died in 1983, which is before the missing children's incident, but other than that, in our brains, it meant that everything that we had established, everything we knew, was wrong. Until we figured out that it just meant that she was the first of the missing children, allowing Charlie to still be the first victim overall. But no matter who you think was the first, we know that Afton wanted to kill prior to his kids dying, as evidenced by Baby and the other fun times, so yeah. In at 8, the logbook. The survival logbook was in essence just a giant scavenger hunt for the name reveal of the spirit possessing Golden Freddy, which is a lot of trouble to go to for a character with little significance aside from being inside a popular animatronic. Some people interpreted this as Golden Freddy having 2 spirits, some assumed that this made Cassidy the one you should not have killed, but what bothered me the most was the final image in the logbook. That image being of a broken down Chica design never seen before. This wasn't withered Chica, it wasn't a broken Chica from FNAF VR, it was a whole new destroyed version of Chica that confuses the living hell out of me. Like, why is it here? What is its significance? Is it significant at all? If not, what was the point? There are so many questions that were created and caused by this one page that honestly, this could have been the worst thing that she's ever done. But I'm sure that you'd all get mad at me for that one if I put it at number 1. And while I do enjoy making people mad, I could do without the hate comments in my Instagram DMs. But honestly, if you're not mad at me though, you should go follow that if you haven't. And at 7, loves trash. Chica loves trash. And you know what? This could mean many things, actually. Like, it could mean that she loves garbage, or reality TV, or YouTube content, me. But in this case, it means the first one, okay? Chica loves to eat trash. Garbage. Which is certainly interesting when she has a whole thing about being fit and keeping herself in shape in Security Breach with her whole mazer size thing. I guess that she's just literally any Instagram model ever. But her fascination with trash is certainly interesting from like a story standpoint as well. Cause like, why? Why does she all of a sudden love to eat trash when we know that her character loves pizza instead? My theory is that it's due to maybe Afton and his control, since these robots are in a way an extension of him, and it would mean that Afton is just trying to eat trash in an attempt to keep himself going maybe, but I don't know. It's just a half-baked idea. A FNAF baked idea. That's a good name for a podcast. I should say that like MatPat though. A FNAF baked idea. Thanks for watching. And it's 6, Nightmare. Okay, now technically I guess that this also wasn't her fault, but did she really have to have a nightmare form? Like, come on, okay? The Phantom version was already messing with my groove, and I'm sure that currently you're thinking, what groove? And if you are, you clearly haven't watched enough of our videos, because Chica's my girl, man. You should subscribe so you know more about my really stupid ongoing jokes that are probably going to be used against me if I'm ever on trial. I know that technically the nightmare version of Chica is created in the mind of Crying Child, since, you know, it's a nightmare, but come on, okay? Couldn't have been like a nightmare toy Chica at least, or I guess technically those hadn't come out yet, since this was before the missing children's incident got the place shut down, since it was 1983 and not 85. The toy animatronics were after that. Jesus, man, okay, this whole thing is causing me just a load of headaches. And not only is her nightmare form itself scary, but it's also scary because there are people that still think that these are real physical animatronics. They're not, okay? They're nightmares. They haven't terrorized anyone else, especially in the real world, and the only reason they show up in Ultimate Custom Night is because Crying Child is the one that's creating the situation for William. So yes, they were nightmares. Nightmares. And the only other time they appear is in the Freddy Fazbear Virtual Experience, the in-universe VR game from Help Wanted, so that's also not real. How about doing at number 5, Eternal Burning? Speaking of Ultimate Custom Night, I know that I just said that Crying Child is the reason that everything is happening, okay? Which would mean that this isn't Chica's fault, and I guess if these are manifestations created by Crying Child in Afton's brain, then they aren't even really Chica, but I needed more numbers for this list, honestly, okay? And while it may not be actually Chica, the vengeful spirit certainly thinks that they would do these things or say these things, so I can really find any justification to include whatever I want on this list, okay? So you just gotta deal with it. It's not like I can change the list at this point anyway. It's been edited, uploaded, you're watching it right now, so don't hate comment. Basically though, this number, I just want to focus on Jacko Chica and her line of "the fire within me burns eternal and now you shall as well," which is total BS. Just because you've suffered doesn't mean that I should have to suffer as well. That's like the parenting technique where if they think their childhood sucked, yours has to as well. Or like when parents try and dismiss your feelings saying that they had things worse. Like, I get that you're bitter, okay, but shouldn't the point of being a parent be to give your kids a better life than you had? Or at least try to do so? Like, what's the point in saying that I had to deal with this growing up, so now you have to suffer as well? That's basically the vibes that I'm getting off of this line, and honestly, it's triggering. I'm going to be unpacking this in therapy tonight. And at 4, Tired Voice. You won't get tired of my voice, will you? Unfortunately, Chica, yes I will, because this line is one of the most piercing in all of FNAF world. Chica's voice in this game gets so incredibly irritating that if you manage to not get tired of it, or not just throw your fist through your monitor, I'll end up being impressed. There's a lot of criticism for FNAF World, okay? There's a lot of hate towards it, some of which I find unsubstantiated. However, any anger or jokes made towards Chica's voice I find totally understandable, okay? I get it. And I'm not saying that the voice actress did a poor job. Amber Lee Connors did an excellent job, but they did such a good job with making her intentionally irritating. If you didn't know, okay, Amber Lee Connors also voices Toy Chica in Ultimate Custom Night, which is probably why the whole "you won't get tired of dying, will you" line is in Ultimate Custom Night. However, in Ultimate Custom Night, it's much more digestible. And no, I'm not saying that she did a good job because her last name is Connors, and there also is no relation, by the way. I know someone's gonna say it in the comments. When someone's last name is similar to someone else's first, that's not how family works, okay? Unless they change their last name due to marriage or just because they wanted to. To be fair though, if she is related to me, I haven't seen her at any of the family reunions, at least when we had those. Thank God we don't anymore. Damn, I didn't like that. Getting close to the end. In at number 3, Fitness Icon. Chica's mazer size insecurity breach is a way to keep kids active and healthy while also giving them an excuse to eat more of the pizzaplex's junk, which is honestly an incredible marketing ploy. So good on Fazbear Entertainment and for Scott for figuring that one out, but you know what? It sucks for Chica. It also serves as a way to get all of the FNAF snobs off his back when they ask how Chica lost all that that weight. Because apparently animatronics need active ways to lose weight, and it's important to the lore of the story. I don't know, I guess people forget that it's a company and characters go through design changes all the time. I want those same people to ask CEC Entertainment how Chucky lost all the weight from Chuck E. Cheese, and then he also turned into a tiny mouse when he was originally human sized. Actually, at this point, I think that FNAF is more successful than Chuck E. Cheese, so I'm gonna drop that. But either way, it seems like now in the FNAF world, Chica is like the fitness icon, the likes of Jenny Craig. With the same amount of terribly evil business models. So yeah, that's going on the list. But ultimately, in at number 2, betrayed me. So you know what? This is more of a personal beef that I have with Chica, because straight up in every single FNAF game, she has betrayed me. Whether it be FNAF 1 through FNAF 9, Chica always betrays me in some fashion, one way or another. Usually it's by being evil and trying to kill me, but in Sister Location, she betrayed me by not even being there, alright? She legit ghosted me, so I saw no point in even playing that game. It's certainly a rough one. I mean, like, can you imagine what sort of relationship dynamic that would be like? It's always having your advances rejected despite being together for years, never feeling truly wanted, and if you don't initiate things, it would look like you're just friends, and them literally being asked who their crush is, and even though you're sitting right beside her, she ends up putting everyone and then doesn't understand why you would get mad or upset despite you having expressed this multiple times. But whenever you do, she ends up trying to turn it around on you and makes you feel bad about being upset so that they never have to take any responsibility for their actions. And then they lie to you about multiple things, including being a victim of the thing that you hate the most in the world after you found the strength to end things, just so that they can get one last thing out of you. Sorry, what were we talking about? Projecting. And finally, in at number 1, Afton Controlled. Okay, now I guess that if you want to think about it like this, being controlled by Afton's virus and security breach isn't her fault, but if we think about this logically, if Freddy was able to glitch out and then not be controlled, couldn't that also have happened to Chica? And without speculation, like Freddy's glitched because he's possessed or whatever, just using facts, Chica could have also glitched. And you know what? That's good enough for me. Plus, whether she did it willingly or not, she was controlled by Afton's virus, and she did some terrible things while under his influence. She dug his corpse out of the rubble of the FNAF 6 pizzeria, causing great frustration to anyone who actually cares about the story of the series, but also because she's controlled by Afton, and once again betrays me by chasing me around the pizzaplex. And not only that, but she did so while also being modded into horrifying other things. And like, sure, the mods aren't her fault, but technically speaking, installing one of those mods puts your game into another FNAF Earth where it is canon. It's not canon to the main universe, but it is, like, in the FNAF, the grand scheme of the FNAF multiverse, there is an Earth where Chica is running around without fake animatronic plastic clothing trying to kill me. So yeah, needless to say, that's pretty damn horrible, mostly because it's an alternate Earth where she's doing that and not the main one. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Charming Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. I really hope that this doesn't end up on TikTok or something, and I'll never get a girlfriend for that.